Hi, it's Garrett Smith, Chief Technology Officer of Concentric Industries. This is The Resonance Part 3, Concentric and the Sustainable Life. Welcome to the Moral Kiosk. Performance, efficiency, meritocracy, solidarity, the future of energy, food, air, and water for the whole world. Distributed generation, distributed harvesting, megatrends. What's this all about? The heart of Concentric breeds dignity, caring and receiving care equally. The resonance is certainly based on the intelligent application of good science. But the foundation goes deeper still. It's moral. Thank you, Alex Epstein. Vantage point, standing on the shoulders of giants. Because building on past discoveries is one thing, but building upon leading ideas of how to apply them for great good is altogether something else. R.C.K. Diesel, the renowned engineer and inventor, one of my all-time heroes, faced head-on and offered resolution to the iconic, ironic technology and society paradox in his 1903 document called Solidarismus. He phrased the challenge like this: why is there a greater output of goods, yet intensified physical and spiritual poverty? He proposed a resolution that I agree with wholeheartedly. To find solidarity, the mass of humanity must become part owners of the sources of production. He was not alone in this view. India's famous liberator, Mahatma Gandhi, declared with sagacity that poverty can only be removed if the people's skills are used for productivity. Golda Meir, pivotal to the resurgency of the State of Israel, put it in this perspective. Zionism meant to create a revolution in this sense too, she said. Diaspora Jews formerly prohibited from working or owning land in Eastern Europe became chalutsniks, pioneers of soil cultivation, with Zerazut alacrity. Over 500 years ago, the great Inca Empire of the high Andes built up vertical archipelagos to integrate and optimize a seemingly harsh environment and operated them on the core principle of reciprocity, cultivating Perua, the Quechuan word for granary or abundance, and the root word for Peru, for an entire culture. In a brilliant synthesis, a topography of separation and scarcity was transformed by sheer will, moral meritocracy, and ingenuity into a settling of naturally defined homelands, springing forth, listen to this, more than enough. The Inca vitiated conflict by averring what Elisha proved to the Aramaeans 3,000 years earlier, that there is peace in plenty. Abundant commonwealth must be compassionate and pragmatic in order to work economically, ecologically, socially, and spiritually. You've heard me say that before. But that's why the bricks and mortar nature of Concentric resonates with durable prosperity. The Concentric resolution to threats to quality of life, QOL, by means of establishing equitable employee ownership and state-of-the-art pure technologies, is timeless in its importance. The strength of the resonance is in the elegance of its simple and natural applied science. Its backbone is the employee ownership and profit-sharing structure of its deployment within Concentric's borderless global business model. With solidarity must also come meritocracy, and this is where the resonance in Concentric brings sublime performance-based commonwealth to a whole new level by marking it with scientific and moral, so there's total success, as a paragon of sustainability for the whole world. See, the enduring common currency then and now is solidarity. Because what the great Paul Lech Walesa stood mightily for in the 20th century wasn't just the worthy fight for just valuation of craftsmen who build things to last, and that is important, but also for establishing a performance-based commonwealth, one of compassionate meritocracy in which rewards are sufficient to empower society's responsible care of the unhealthy and unable. This is the convergence of the Big Four, criterion for lasting quality of life, economic abundance, ecological stewardship, social justice, spiritual power, and freedom. That's total prosperity. This is the practical plus value-based ideal of the resonance, where the mind and heart converge into a single durable sphere. This is the core of concentric industries, what the late great American entrepreneur Rich DeVos coined compassionate capitalism. See, I'm talking about the real New Deal of the 21st century, RND 21. Let's take a look at a real-time application. Taking the cue from REM's Cuyahoga on their anthemic 1986 album, Life's Rich Pageant, let's put our heads together. Let's start anew. To that end, let's apply authentic and durable meritocracy to Rust Belt restoration by way of the RND 21. Sustainable life from Cleveland to Charleston, Cincinnati to Pittsburgh, across the heart and soul of a beleaguered nation. Concentric brings thriving answers to stagnating, unanswered questions and sustainable solutions to real, lingering problems. We get to do this, and more. Total revitalization of Appalachian coal communities through Helix Coal Zero utilization of America's black gold with zero pollution or waste of any kind. SOSCO's sustainably operating self-contained outposts, unprecedented agricultural excellence supported by the Stewart-Smith method for total utilization of livestock manures and food processing waste around the buckle of the continent's grain belt. Speaking of the grain belt, here comes the train. CAMEA's no waste wasted distributed ability to radically and profitably and cleanly convert all of society's garbage and sewage into pure electricity and water with zero pollution. That's right, there is a way, and it's way better. I'm also talking about Iden Sciences, integrated, distributed, efficient, and natural urban and rural restoration initiatives driven by local Bushnellian combined heat, power, and cooling, CHPC. Designs that incorporate aquazoe and photosynthetic regeneration food production innovations that use pure vertical agriculture to dynamically reclaim broken buildings in shattered cities and vacant industrial parks in ghost towns. Kimball Musk, we need to meet. This is right up your alley. On this great opportunity and the ethic needed to seize it, I quote REM again, this time from Finest Work Song on their fifth album, 1987's Document. The time to rise has been engaged. You're better, best to rearrange. What we want and what we need has been confused. I listen to the Finest Work Song, your finest hour, our finest hour. Sustainable results demand accurate thinking. And here, you knew I'd quote you in here, my friend. Here's Alex Epstein of the Center for Industrial Progress. High-energy civilization is the driver of climate livability. Climate is naturally hazardous. There are 1.5 billion people without electricity, the vast majority of whom will die early deaths, a solvable problem using fossil fuels. He goes on, not only are we ignoring the big picture by making the fight against climate danger the fixation of our culture, but also we are fighting climate change by opposing the very tool that has made it dozens of times less dangerous. The popular climate discussion has the whole issue backward. With high-density fuels, we take a naturally dangerous climate and make it safer. As a trained natural scientist and licensed engineer, I could not agree more with Epstein's clear and cogent thinking that is based on facts and ethics. And the resonance amplifies accurate thinking by relentlessly pushing for better. Right? Isn't that what love is? The pursuit of better? The improvement of already practical solutions. Climate endangerment of the poor is a moral issue, and the gravest villains are climate catastrophists advocating for prohibition of life improvement for billions of people. And here's the biggest reason why. Because it's so completely unnecessary. While misguided masses clamor ignorant to justify hardship pretend, the resonance challenges who will rise up and advance good science in order to harness everything as resources to cultivate even more pure abundance. Who will rise up? Concentric passionately answers this call with professional empathy through its proven and pragmatic fleet of ultra-clean tech that has been strategically and ingeniously crafted for both giant-scaled agriculture and industrial plants and commercial neighborhood-scaled urban operations. This really is the greatest toolkit of answers to humanity's problems ever assembled, and it's available right now. All of these operate with not only zero emissions, but also with air and water improvements for real advanced stewardship. The tend the garden kind espoused by Boise Vineyard's Try Robinson. Merry Christmas, Try. Therefore, what Concentric means is that these real solutions can be ecologically and socially sited everywhere, remotely and locally. Because when air and water are cleaner coming out of power plants, factories, and farms, here's a clue. Wouldn't you want to live by that and be a part of it? That's the megatrend of DG plus DH, distributed generation and distributed harvesting. That's the restoration of farms and factories, plus the revitalization of neighborhoods, towns, cities, and nations. That's real answers to real questions. That's the resonance where economics and ecology, people, and the planet not only meet on common ground, but thrive together in common sense. The enemy within. In closing, I want you to ask yourself, I'll ask myself too, why does something as good as the resonance have to be sold? Right? Seriously, ask, what is so good about the status quo that makes people so skeptical that problems really can be solved? Ignorance, fear, and prejudice do walk hand in hand, but there's something deeper at play. In 1966, the Hudson Institute at the base of Iron Mountain in Croton-on-Hudson, New York, issued the Report from Iron Mountain, whose intent was to sell fear by buying the lie of lack. In June of 1975, the Second General Assembly of the World Future Society reinforced the myth. Quote, unquote, humanity itself became the target. By 1991, the First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome, was published by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider. And here's what they wrote. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention. The real enemy, then, became humanity itself. The West's fabricated crisis pretend warrants a reality check. Like Alex has said, energy, food, air, and water are serious. We cannot afford sloppy thinking. Instead, I can hear the echoes of myth reverberating throughout America's ataraxic culture, a society that is brain anesthetized, media tranquilized, and hypnotized by myopic victim fixations that don't exist. But I also see Matthew McConaughey addressing green lights, not red, and proclaiming for hashtag Team Earth, it's time to engage, not escape. Plant more trees. While others pursue the metaverse and Mars, let's restore ours. It's time to blaze our trail, because the new frontier, it's right here. The resonance purposefully echoes Summer, Sting, and Copeland. One world is enough. And Concentric proves it. What does this mean for you? Real solutions exist for real problems right now. So promote the possible. Each of you is a signal. Turn green.